Hello and welcome back. I hope you're all doing well, and I'm here with an exclusive from Deadline. So I wanted to come to you with this news immediately because I know for a fact that Deadline are an official trade publication. That is to say, they are not a tabloid. They are very professional in the industry and respected. So they do not go to print without at least verifying the sources of their content. And, they have fact checkers as well. So very professional in the industry. They are right up there with Variety. And, of course, they are a trusted source on current events and pop culture. So they have an article here, and I'll read it out to you just as is, and then we'll get into it. So the article starts, exclusive. Rattled after attacks on season 5 of The Crown, Netflix has decided to postpone its documentary series featuring Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, until next year. So the article goes on to say, the documentary had been unofficially slated to stream on Netflix in December, following the November 9th launch of The Crown. However, over the weekend, Netflix came under fire from former UK Prime Minister John Major, who complained about a plotline in the episode 1 of season 5, suggesting that in 1991, Prince Charles, now King Charles III, summoned Major to moan about having to wait to take over the throne. Titled Queen Victoria Syndrome in quotes, so called because of Queen Victoria's 63 years on the throne, the installment is based on an actual poll that ran in the UK Sunday Times, which argued that the monarchy was dated and that Queen Elizabeth should abdicate in favor of Charles. The drama features scenes of Charles, portrayed by Dominic West, privately agreeing with a passage in the Sunday Times from back in 1991 that, quote, an aging monarch too long on the throne whose remoteness from the modern world has led people to grow tired not just of her, but of the monarchy itself, end quote. So the article goes on to say that Charles then has a clandestine meeting with Major where the royal relates the story of how Edward VII was, quote, kept waiting in the wings, end quote, for decades due to the longevity of Queen Victoria's rule. Major has insisted that no such conversation about a plot to overthrow the late Queen took place and described it as, quote, malicious nonsense. Other establishment figures spent the weekend savaging a show that they are yet to see, often relying on inaccurate reports of what the season 5's episode are said to contain. But following days of negative front-page stories, executives at Netflix felt that it would be foolhardy to stream The Crown in November, followed by Prince Harry and Meghan's documentary in December. A source told Deadline, quote, they're rattled at Netflix and they blinked first and decided to postpone the documentary, end quote. So the article goes on to say, the untitled documentary series produced by Netflix and Archwell Productions did not set an official broadcast date. However, officials at Netflix had stated several times earlier this year that they wanted to do a royal double whammy with The Crown to run, to be followed a few weeks later by the docu-series, some of which was filmed at Harry and Meghan's Montecito estate. Both Netflix and Buckingham Palace have been ultra-sensitive about both The Crown and the docu-series since Queen Elizabeth's passing on September the 8th, which is when Charles ascended to the throne. It may well suit the Duke and Duchess to have the documentary delayed while they reconsider its content, the article goes on to say. There's also anxiety about the filming next week of the scenes that led to Princess Diana's passing in Paris, and Netflix has stipulated that the crash impact scenes would not be shown. Netflix said Monday that, quote, there's never been any documentary from the Duke and Duchess of Sussex confirmed. And the article said that Deadline reached out to Archwell for comment. So there we have the report. I read it to you as is. Let me know your thoughts because, as I said before, Deadline.com are not a tabloid. They are people who are on the know in any projects that are Hollywood related. They would not go to print with just, vague rumors. They don't do clickbait because they need to run on people trusting them as a news source. So I just want to reiterate that. So let me know your thoughts on this news. Of course, it's more centered on Netflix and, all of the furor that has surrounded the upcoming season of The Crown. And as you've seen in the story, they have this issue with the alleged clandestine meeting that Charles had with Major, where it kind of alludes to some kind of plot. So, that's there. And I think that Netflix, if they have indeed pushed back the documentary of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, I think that they want to keep the goodwill going in the UK. But of course, Netflix is a global platform. A lot of people watch them overseas. And this is quite interesting. So let me know what you think about this. That they, according to Deadline, have chosen to push back the docuseries and not have it as a, quote, double whammy, pushing it back to avoid being, quote, foolhardy to stream The Crown and then followed by the docuseries. So let me know your thoughts on that. In my opinion, if Prince Harry and Meghan want to have more editorial control over the content, I think that's wonderful. As we know, the palace has been, really checking on what Prince Harry and Meghan are up to, especially with all their media projects, with Prince Harry's book, and of course, with this unofficial docuseries. We've heard of a lot of people on various platforms, a lot of talk, a lot of spin, even from the palace, of people commenting on Prince Harry's book. Some of them have wanted the book to be scrapped altogether. There's just been a lot of consternation on the projects that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex have in the works. But I think all in all, if Netflix has decided to push back the release date so that Prince Harry and Meghan can perhaps have more editorial control, I think it's all for good. We know there's been quite a bit of consternation from the palace, especially with this upcoming season of The Crown. We've heard reports that courtiers and people there are reportedly nervous about how Charles will be portrayed so soon after his ascension to the throne. Of course, we know that this season is going to tackle a lot of issues. They're going to reenact parts of the interview that Princess Diana had with Martin Bashir. We've heard also reports of Prince William unhappy about that. As we know, there was that whole statement that interview should never ever see the light of day again, being vaulted away. And definitely a lot of people online had thoughts on that. That was her own words. And Princess Diana said something that was so powerful. She said that she would not go quietly. And, once again, The Crown is going to be touching on that. So a lot of furor, as I said. Right now, you can just see that the palace are trying everything. We've seen a lot of spin. Camilla and Charles, they're not going to have an easy ride with that season. It's going to be really something that the whole world is going to be looking at. And the depictions of Charles and Camilla, I don't think will be favorable. I think a lot of us can already predict that. So many concerns about this season. And now I think that Netflix is just, especially with, their UK audience, they're just trying to balance things out. And in my opinion, I think it is a massive deal that they have with Netflix. We know that Netflix as well would never do anything to jeopardize that relationship with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. They know that where they go, the cameras follow, and people are very interested in them and in their new lives. I mean, who wouldn't even just want to see a sit down with both of them just talking about their new journey in this chapter of their lives? So I think it's good for all parties as well, because Prince Harry, he is someone who loves his country, and he would not want anything that would be misconstrued in his own documentary to be taken out of context or to be, used in a way against them, especially right now with tremendous concerns being put forward in the UK on any negative depiction, not of Charles, but of the Queen on this upcoming season of The Crown. And I think this goes without saying that as we consider the partnership that the Sussexes have with Netflix, that may give them some kind of final say on their own product and how their depictions will be put forth on their own docuseries. I don't think that translates onto depictions on The Crown. That's a totally different production team. The Sussexes have no say on what goes on on another show on a platform that they are on. So that just kind of goes without saying. And of course, the conclusion of that would be Prince Harry does not have any control over his own depiction on the crown. They do not give any notes to the Sussexes to go over what their depictions will be. Even the only control and say-so that they have is over their own product. So yeah, that just goes without saying. You know, we always have to keep in mind the moving parts of people's perceptions in home countries. Prince Harry, he does love UK. He loves his country. He has tremendous loyalty there. And I don't think that he would want anything put out there that he would not have the final say on. Because, with documentaries, they don't sit down to do the editing process. They have to put out what they will be filmed doing, and then in the end, it's sent over to people who will work on the content, who will put the clips in place. And you have to have that final say on everything that is put down. And I think that's all right for Prince Harry to just make sure that he can also keep the approval and the PR on his end working well, especially when he considers that UK is his home. So we always have to consider that, I think. And of course, there is that whole family dynamic. Now King Charles III, his wife Camilla right there, and, Prince William and Kate, there's just all those moving parts. So I think it's all right for them. Let the duo have this time to, check over the footage and make sure that the project moves forward in the best possible light. More time on any project is always better, in my opinion. I think every film director or anyone who puts out any kind of art appreciates any time that they have to fine-tune your project and add even more content. It could even just be adding more stuff and making it more polished and, just making sure you have the best content out there that holds up, not only with the Queen's recent passing, but in the years moving ahead. So I think the editing process, which, ultimately is now more on Netflix's part, I think it's good that they have Prince Harry and Meghan come in and, just have that final look over. So let me know your thoughts on all this below. I want to know your thoughts on what they have spoken concerning the season of The Crown, with a lot of attempts to basically put it in the fictional category, and Netflix as well coming out strong, supporting their content. Let me know your thoughts about that in the comment section, because I didn't add this. Let me add it here. Netflix also had a statement concerning this season of The Crown, with all of the backlash that has been coming out with people talking about what might be coming up in the upcoming season. They did put out a statement. Let me read it for you here. They said this when they heard Sir John Major's statement calling scenes in their season malicious fiction. They said this: a spokeswoman for The Crown said, quote, "The Crown has always been presented as a drama based on historical events. Season 5 is a fictional dramatization, imagining what could have happened behind closed doors during a significant decade for the royal family, one that has already been scrutinized and well documented by journalists, biographers, and historians." So, although there is no disclaimer on the individual episodes, when viewers tune in, the show is labeled with a, quote, log line as a fictional drama based on historical events. So we've heard a lot of friends of King Charles coming out and saying that the show is, quote, playing with people's lives, that it should be fully labeled as fiction, that someone said, I think that it is fiction on stilts. I'll put it up here when I find the quote. And, I think at the end of the day, as I said before, the palace, Charles, Camilla, they are bracing for the release of this season, and that's where their focus is. The focus will be strongly on the breakdown of his and Princess Diana's marriage, and the plot lines are going to be so strong. And friends of Charles and Camilla, they right now are just coming out strong because they know that this show has a lot of weight with a lot of people. and they are right now trying to do a lot of damage control in advance because they don't want King Charles's and Camilla's popularity to dip before the coronation. We can see it in all the statements that have been put out before the season is out. So let me know your thoughts on that as well. Once again, it's been quite interesting as the season is ramping up in a couple of weeks, and the trailer is going to be out in a couple of days. In an article that I read, Charles had a recorded popularity rate of 81% in 1991, which dropped by 40 percentile points following his separation from Diana. So it does make you wonder, as I consider them, especially how they've come out so strongly against this new season of The Crown and have been keeping an eye on Harry and Meghan's media project. Let me ask you a question. For those who do not want Diana's interview to be even reenacted in the season of The Crown, where she talks about her own experiences in the royal family and in her marriage with Charles, where she spoke candidly and said that there were 3 of them in the marriage, we also have to harken back to the fact that in the Crown's promotional clips, we also saw Charles sitting down, I think in his own interview with Dimbleby, where he also admitted to adultery. So is that also nixed too? Because they can't pick and choose history, and the Crown, yes, it is dramatized, but they always put the emphasis that it is based on historical fact. So I don't think they should even put in the article that they're frantic or they're blinking. I think that they're just weighing their options. And I think Prince Harry has a lot more say than a lot of people think. I think he had a candid talk with the executives there at Netflix, and Prince Harry wants to keep that good rapport and relationship going with his own home country. And if he feels that he needs time to work and rework the content and make it even better, I think that they've taken that on board. So I want to know your thoughts in the comment section on all these updates and what you think this upcoming season of The Crown will do for the popularity of Charles and Camilla, because it takes place before the coronation. Don't forget that. And we do know in history there was another king who had to basically abdicate his position based on, him being married to a twice divorced woman, Wallis Simpson. And now we have Charles and Camilla who, they are both divorced. Their whole backstory is just so sordid, and what Diana went through. When it all comes to a head and people consider the coronation, will they want to have those type of people who are depicted so unfavorably based on history in The Crown? Will people want to have them, that kind of character representing them as king and queen? I've seen a lot of people, just not happy about that as well. So let me know your thoughts. Right now, everyone, if we're going to be quite honest, everyone right now is, trying to look out for their own interests. Charles and Camilla, they don't want to have the backlash from the Crown. And, of course, other members there in the family and friends who've spoken out against the Crown just don't want all of that cascade of negative sentiment going on them. William as well, who is second in line to the throne, he has to also look out for his own, just a lot of moving parts, yeah? So let's see how this all moves ahead. So once again, share your thoughts in the comment section on how the palace is handling the upcoming season of The Crown, whether you think it will affect Charles and Camilla's coronation, their popularity. Let me know your thoughts on also the docuseries of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex being postponed. Let me know your thoughts as to perhaps why. And also, I want to share something with you concerning the coronation. I'd asked a couple of you in the former video to vote on whether Prince Harry and Meghan should attend the coronation if they are invited. Because once again, when you consider the date of the coronation being on Archie's birthday, and all of the commentary that happened concerning that, ranging from people being incensed by the fact that they chose that date, and also moving all the way to the other side, that people saying that it would be historic for Archie to have, his birthday included on such a great day, and people all the way down in the middle not being particularly offended by it one way or another. And also when we consider how the titles of the Sussex children have been handled, with the prospect of those titles being taken away, and, what we saw with Prince Harry and Meghan when they attended the Queen's funeral, we saw a lot of disrespect, a lot of double standards, and also just understanding Harry and Meghan and the importance that they have there in the UK, and how they are also loved by the people in the UK, and how they too are members there of the royal family, and they should in fact attend that coronation. It's a historical event. Harry and Meghan are not in exile. You know, you can't compare it with, say, the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. They're not in exile. So with all that and all the other layers considered, I'd ask the question of you whether you thought Harry and Meghan should attend the coronation if invited. And these are the results from over 1,000 votes. 37% said yes, they should. 54% of you said no, they should not attend. And 9% of you said they don't know. And I read a couple of the comments, and many of you said that you did not feel that they should attend because of the disrespect and all the, you know, the negative things that they have gone through. And a couple of you said that you would support Harry and Meghan's decision no matter what they chose, whether they chose to go or not to go. And thank you, by the way, for all of you who voted and commented. I appreciate that as well. And even my Patreon members, thank you, Anna Thorne, for voting and said that you voted yes. You felt that they should go. So yes, I wanted to know all your thoughts. Of course, it's undeniable. There are quite a few moving parts to all these decisions being made. So we have to keep that in mind and be honest with ourselves as well, right? And we have to be open-minded about that and consider all the factors that all these parties, you know, Charles, Camilla, Harry, Meghan, William, Kate, and all the other family members and everyone else concerned, people also in the media as well, everyone with some kind of vested interest may have. So we have to consider that everyone is coming at this from their own angle. So thank you once again for those of you as well who have voted here and commented. Thank you. So yeah, once again, these are the updates. I want to know your thoughts in the comment section below. So thank you for watching. And a special thank you to those who support this channel, to my Patreon, PayPal, and membership supporters. I would like to say a heartfelt thank you. And I want to give a couple of shout outs to a couple of you here on this channel. Thank you so much to you, Kristen Rowe. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. Special thank you right now to Connie Balmer, a longtime supporter of this channel. Thank you, Connie, and I love you. And a thank you to Gary Adderley, one of the first supporters on this channel. I want to say God bless you. Thank you for your love and support. Thank you to Scotty and Norma Brown as well, who have supported this channel through so many avenues. Patreon, becoming members who've supported this channel time and time again. Thank you. Thank you so much for choosing to come along with me on this journey. You mean so much to me. I love you. And thank you to Corliss J. McClendon as well, who's been a long-time supporter of this channel. Thank you so much, Corliss, for your love and support. It has meant so much to me over the years. Thank you. And a heartfelt thank you to Dina Cardoso, who gave during the live. Thank you for your super chat. I appreciate that so much, Dina. God bless you. So once again, thank you all for watching this video. I appreciate you all. Thank you to those who like, comment, and share. I appreciate that so much. And if you liked this video, upvote it and let YouTube know you enjoyed what you watched. Once again, leave all your thoughts below. Thank you all for watching and have a great day wherever you are. And I will catch you in the next one. Have a blessed one.